Welcome back to Yildiz Readings 5D. Grab a cuppa, sit back and relax. All the information for bookings is at the end of this video. Welcome back, Sagittarius. Your 2022 report is here. Yes, psychically, we're going to channel those messages, and also very separately, we have your cards. We have romantic reads during the month as well as the twin flame path. Now, the first thing I'm seeing is, look, number one, for the last 18 months, let's just be perfectly honest, for your zodiac sign, it has been very tough, and we're still going to have a little bit of that residue moving into the beginning of 2022. We're kind of clearing it out. We're trying to pull a little bit of the old in and a little bit of the new, and we're moving into that shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. So I feel you're coming through the gate very boldly. Now, at the moment, we do have transits happening in your chart that are very energetic. You can feel like you're in a rush. It's like the Mad Hatter, so to speak. You can come through feeling like the Mad Hatter. You do need to slow down a little bit. You could have things to do with driving coming up. Also, your throat chakra may need balancing. You could get very frustrated during the month if things are all going haywire, especially if people aren't understanding what your goal is in mind. If there is any paperwork-related dynamic that really needs addressing, you pretty much have 2 weeks maximum, and it's best then to just sit tight. And if you wanted to change jobs, do anything, sign a contract, especially relating to home at the moment, big subjects to do with family and homecoming, and some of you may have a new child coming into the picture. You could be quite fertile, pre-warned, forearmed. I do feel you're coming through very boldly. Now, this boldness is wanting you to go in a different direction. And I feel at the moment it's almost like headaches, but it's thoughts, it's the things you need to do. You could be dealing with some headaches. You may really be looking at your foundation, and it could be security consciousness. It may be that you are either from a financial point of view, an accommodation point of view, it's you're wanting to feel that you're safe. You're wanting to feel that you're protected. I also feel at the moment you could be letting your guard down and being a little bit more open. I do feel what's going to be lumped on your shoulders to a degree for the next 2 months. And it's interesting that this is January, but I'm for some reason guided to really tell you, you know, what can be coming up over the next 2 months for you psychically is that there could be added responsibilities, and it's going to show you really your inner strength. It's going to show you what you're really made of. Now, there can be things to do with that really show you what you're made of, and I think you're addressing it in a different fashion. I do feel from a monetary point of view, you need to be cautious about what you're spending your money on. I also feel a lot of you are planning, but you're kind of like looking at where you stand right now and what this new cycle is going to be. So mathematically, you're looking at it and you're going, okay, how would I get from here to there? This is a great month for that. If there has been an upheaval all of a sudden, you kind of feel that the past is coming back. And it can psychologically feel like that. But I do feel if you look at your past, this is what's being shown to me, is that you're going to be able to get the blessings to implement it here and have more success. So I feel there is this direct motion, and there could be something that is very heartfelt. Now, this can be a positive or a negative thing, but it feels like I'm hearing the term, and it's a Carrie Underwood song, which I feel for some of you could have a rhetorical meaning to it. It's Carrie Underwood, Cupid's Got a Shotgun. So the song has a rhetorical meaning to it, but I do feel in that song there could be an additional message. Now, separately, I feel you're very direct. You're going to be very direct with what you're putting your energy into. I also feel a lot of you are looking after your health and your well-being. But you're going to be very transparent with your communication. I do feel some of you are waiting on documentation, and this can be to do with your future. And I feel with this documentation, it's please read the fine print. That's what it's saying. It's like, please go over the fine print, because there's something there in the clause that I feel you're going to need to read. I also feel the way that people are speaking, it's like you've got the lawyer energy coming through. You could be ending up being a mediator for a circumstance, like being piggy in the middle of a scenario. But I also see somebody headhunting you. So, you know, for many of you, if you've started a new job, if you're considering starting a new job, the best time to do such will be at the end of February. If we are getting to the point where thinking, hey, I see no value in this, it's normal that that's going to come up, but you just don't want to jump the gun right away. But for some of you, I see, you know, you might be going left and then suddenly somebody's offering you something more. And it feels like a smorgasbord. Now, the smorgasbord can be beautiful, or it can be something that you're looking at and going, wow, in a magnitude sense, how do I pull this all together? How do I bring it together so that I can have more success and still deal with this? Your perception and your ideas and the biggest scope of things, don't dream small. Dream really large. It is the year of the white tiger, and you can pull it together. And what I'm being shown is where you didn't achieve those things last year, it was due to the fact you're in the South Node, you know, for 18 months. That's pretty hectic. That's like, sorry, the old you is read aura. RIP, it's gone, right? And you're this new version. You're still you. But with all that information, you're becoming a newer version and going to have more success now. So you're going to be very direct in your approach. And it's almost like the problems now have solutions if you look back. I feel it is in, you know, if we're needing to have this routine of having something really stable, the first 2 weeks can feel like a shake-up call. It's interesting that I said shake-up call, not wake-up call, shake-up call. You're wanting to move towards something more certain, but I feel in your intellect, it does come down to human psychology. It comes down to your demeanor, that of what we think we manifest, that of what we believe we can co-create. The rubble from the ashes, okay? Because you are having a new cycle coming in, but it can feel like you're cleaning shop. I'm seeing a conversation with a person that you were very close to. Now, this conversation with this person, it's very reminiscent. It's very nostalgic. You could be having a D&M with them. But your perspective of things is going to shift. And you can be very... I'm seeing this almost, it's like a goodbye. It's like, okay, this is the turning point. This is our left or right. I feel, you know, this doesn't have to be a permanent thing. But it can be where you stand right now. Your whole life is changing. And I do feel this person's life is changing too. I don't feel this is a romantic connection. I feel this is relating to a friendship. And I also feel, again, I'm seeing there is a cycle that potentially you may need to end. And it's almost like, I'm seeing, look at this. This is literally how my guides are showing me. It's like the angel and the devil on the shoulder in a health demeanor. And the circle of concerns, sometimes we can say to ourselves, it's like, oh, you know, I'm wanting this new cycle and this is where I see myself going. And a lot of us had to with Neptune and Pisces. It was almost like, I think it was by November. Where is it? Let's have a quick look. December the 1st, it went direct. A lot of those revelations, especially after the Mercury retrograde we had last year, it was almost like we had these epiphanies. And these epiphanies were like, oh my gosh, you know, have I tried enough? Have I done enough? Now that I've had this revelation, we could have gone through this temporary redirection in what we were doing to implement it in a more successful way. So whatever that means to you, I kind of sense that you're having this, you know, this conversation psychologically, and your perception is going to be key. So in one breath, it's like the angel and the devil analogy is you're kind of being called to step up and to step above of a toxic situation. It might be a habit, it might be a circle, it might be a demeanor, and you're pulling yourself out of that and rising above a situation. But you have the key, okay? There is somebody I do feel for some of you, I'm looking at the Venus polarity behind the head. And I'm seeing something that you were told years ago had been keeping you back. And it's been that little bird in the back of your head kind of telling you these things. Again, it does make sense because of the astrology. I kind of feel you're going to be sifting through the trash, right? Okay, that does not define me. I'm focusing on my new version of love and what that means, and it's unconditional. But it's where you feel is correct. For some of you, it could be that you're leaving a situation. For some of you, it can be that you're returning to a situation. But it's been corrected and shifted regardless, and it's been rewired. Let's pull another card. You're very direct. You're very to the point. I do see some conflict and a sense of communication. I feel you're really lowering your guard, just speaking your truth. It could feel very rebellious. Yeah, this could be very transparent. It's like, look, this isn't where I saw my life. You're having a transparent conversation with someone. It's like, look, this hasn't been a bed of roses. I wasn't born with the silver spoon in my mouth. I have the silver spoon touch, but you know, it can be talking to your boss and saying, look, this is where I see myself going. Whatever these things are, you're speaking from the heart, but if people aren't respecting it, you could be a little bit more aggressive in your tone. And that's just something to bear in mind. It's not necessarily that you have to react that way. It's if you have that information, you can deal with it in a more conducive manner. I feel if you have any analogy in your mind that you're cursed, please tap out of that. Because I do feel, yes, there are situations in life where there is fate, there is destiny, but there's also freedom of choice. And I feel the way you react to the environment is going to be key. Some of you, I do feel, it's like, are you with me? I'm getting the clapping. Are you with me or are you not? And this is where I'm going. So it's very direct. I also feel there could be a sudden change in your financial well-being. You could have a grand idea. You could have a psychic download. But definitely be careful with your money in the first 4 weeks, okay? And it means if anything, it's not so much to do with spending. I'm seeing insurances, make sure they're in check. Your documentation, make sure they're in check. But I also see on a very grand scale a revelation of how to make more money and what your dreams and hopes are. Come through and see us during the week for your romance updates. We'll get some channel messages for you in that domain. I do feel for you guys from a romantic point of view, again, transparency. See you next week. If you haven't clicked the bell and subscribed, I'd love to see you. Come date me, as I say, on YouTube. And for 2022, we have a lot more new content. Romance reads, twin flame updates. Yes, we have the Members Hub online, so come through and join us. And giveaways. Very separately, 2 channels being launched, as well as the Membership Hub on my website. So please click the bell. I'll see you soon. And come and join us for the lives and the super chats. Any questions, DM me.